Hi everyone, welcome back to Hog Heaven Homestead. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Sandy. And today we've got some sad news, we have some bad news, and we have some more sad news, but stick around to the end because I think we have some good news too. Okay, Kevin had to leave. He doesn't really like talking about sad and bad news anyway, so he's got farm chores to do, he's got to go pick up pig feed, and he's got all kinds of stuff to do, and I can never get him to settle down enough to do a video. I think the last full video we have on our page is from last year at this time. It is now September of 2025, and once again we are prepping for winter. As you can see, the woodshed behind me, Kevin's been working really hard at getting that full and ready for the winter. And so we're right back where we started on the last video. So I'm just going to kind of tell you what's been going on over the past year and kind of get you caught up. Part of the reasons why we haven't done videos is we have had a lot of things happening that we're not too excited about, and some difficult things have happened. But then I thought about the whole reason we did this channel and this YouTube space is to share our story, to encourage others to, homestead and farm, but also, tell the good with the bad. So I hear a tractor starting up in the background, so Kevin's off to do some farm chores right now, but all the good things that happen as well as the bad things that happen. So we're going to do that today, get y'all caught up. So hang on, we're going to go for a little walk here, and I'll catch you by the pigos. Okay, so if you're new to our channel, let me just briefly tell you that we sold our house in the cities. We were cityites our whole lives. And we sold our house in the cities and moved out to our property and began homesteading in 2020. We started with chickens and ducks, and in 2022 we discovered the Idaho pasture pig, and we fell in love with this pig. It's such a great breed, and I've got a video out telling all the good things about this breed, so I'm not going to go into that right now, but I'm just going to give you kind of something to look at other than just me here while I tell the story of the past year. So it ended last year prepping for winter. Kevin worked really hard on setting up all the winter paddocks for the pigs. We put them in like a sacrifice pen as close to the house as we can. Several paddocks as close to the house as we can before winter, because you want to be able to get to them in case we have tons of snow. We're in central Minnesota here, if you're not aware. The winters can be pretty harsh, and sometimes we get tons of snow, and like last year we got no snow, so it's very unpredictable. But yeah, we started breeding these pigs, and so he was setting up all the paddocks, building new huts, building new feeders, building new waters, all of that, putting a lot of hard work into that. And then winter came. So winter last year was kind of a bummer. It was no snow, and the pigs love the snow. We like them to have the snow because, for one, it helps to protect the paddocks that they're in. And they eat the snow when they're thirsty if we can't get water to them. And that's nice, but we had no snow. And I think it was like in the beginning of January into February, it got so cold here in Minnesota. It was below zero, and then it went to like 10 below, and then it was 20 below, and pretty soon it was 30 below. And in the midst of all that, I mean, the water, we have like heating elements in our waters. We don't have a hydrant out here close, so Kevin has to hook up hoses and run like 100 feet of hoses to get to fill up the waters, and then our heating elements were breaking down and not working, and they're very expensive to get those, and they're expensive to run, but you know, you do what you got to do. And then he was struggling with the hoses freezing up. We had to bring our hoses inside, and we ended up having to buy all new hoses to get water out here, because the hoses we had were just too stiff and they weren't working. So we had to get all new hoses to get water out to our animals, and we had to buy new heating elements for the water. So this is just some of the troubles and the costs that go into raising animals that you don't really see. It's behind the scenes here. But so, and then also in the midst of all of those difficulties, Kevin was having trouble with his hands freezing really bad. Our daughters bought him some heated gloves, which helped. He ended up having to take the truck, drive his truck down to feed the animals so he could go in and warm up in the middle of that because it was so cold. And then to make it even worse, I came down with the flu, and of course I passed it to him, and we both were very sick for I think a good month and a half. It was just terrible. We had no energy, just total lack of enthusiasm, and just it was a struggle to get through the winter, and you end up with the winter blues, of course, through all of that. But life of a farmer, you still have to get out there every day, twice a day. With our pigs, we hand feed them twice a day, or Kevin does, I should say. And flu or no flu, 30 below, it doesn't matter. You have to get out there. You have to make sure your animals have water, that they have shelter, and they've got hay in the winter, and feed them grain to keep them going. That has to be done. They're our number one priority. So, but you can imagine how difficult that is when it's that cold, when you're sick, when your hands are freezing, the water's not running, and you're just struggling. All you really want to do at that point is climb into bed and not come out. So it was a difficult winter. And yeah, so and then in the midst of all of that, kind of right after we finally started getting over the flu, it was during the really, really, really cold spell, like 30 below, that one of our sows went down, and she refused to eat. She refused to go into her hut. Kevin had her hut, you know, lots of straw. We had lots of hay around, and she just refused. And so he went out there, even though he wasn't feeling good and all of, you know, being miserable. He did everything he could. He gave her vitamin shots. What else did he tried getting her to drink some electrolyte water. I mean, he brought out moving blankets. He ended up bringing out heating pads, something to warm her up. He spent a lot of time trying to get her, you know, to get up and to eat, and to no avail. She passed. So it broke his spirit a little bit. Just our animals mean a lot to us, and our animals mean a lot to us here on the farm, and we try our best to do the best for them. So yes, we raise them for meat, but we give them the best life they can have while they are here. So it broke him, I think, and it was just, you start to go, why? You know, why are we doing this? This is hard. And we had ramped up our pig operation because we had such a high demand for the pork and the pigs the year before, that we thought we need to do more. And so we kind of overdid it. We had way too many pigs here. It was way too much work for one man to manage, and so it took a toll on Kevin, and in turn took a toll on me. So we were just kind of going, what are we doing here? We could just raise a couple pigs for us and not try to feed, you know, everyone. But that was a very difficult time. So I just kind of wanted to tell that story, and I've got a couple others. Hang on. Okay, so now I'm standing in front of our duck house. If you watched our last video, full video, you know that, and if you've been following us for a while, you know that we lost quite a few ducks the year prior. So last year we were determined to keep our ducks safe through the winter. We brought them over here. We had an enclosed area for them to be all winter long. I can show you a little clip of that. They were safe in their little area here, and they were great all winter long. They all survived, and we kept them safe. And then in the springtime, you know, we kept them in here as long as we could, and then we finally let them out. We figured they knew where home base was. They knew to come back here for safety, and so we let them out in the spring. They didn't go immediately to the pond, but there's a wet area behind our chicken coop over here that they kind of hung out in. And unfortunately, a predator found where they were, and one by one started taking out our ducks, just like they had a couple years ago. So we only have one duck left. We call him Mr. Duck. But that was another big loss. So we have decided we are out of the duck business for a while until we can come up with a safe place, a safe way to keep them year round. We're not going to have ducks anymore. And we really enjoyed having ducks. They're fun, they're funny. Mr. Duck, I can show you some pictures here. After he lost his whole family, and I don't know why he didn't tell everyone where he's hiding, because he's now been around all summer, and wherever he goes at night is a safe place. He doesn't go in the duck house. We have one chicken that separated herself from the pack, and she has taken claim to this little duck house back here, and she goes in there every night. Don't know. I don't know why. I don't know where he goes, but wherever he goes, he's figured out a safe place. So as I said, we're not doing ducks. We're out of the duck business for a while until we can figure out how to keep them safe all year round. So it was another big loss for us, and yeah, made us very sad. Okay, we're over by the chicken coop now. I thought maybe if I came over here, our rooster would quiet down a little bit. We'll see if that actually works. I haven't let them out for the day yet, but I'm going to soon. But so for our chickens, the sad part of this story is, I don't know, I was super excited about our Polish chick that we got, and we got an Americana as well at the same time, 2 little chicks. I can show a picture here of them when we first got them. And then we all kind of fell in love with Phyllis, our Polish chick, and she soon became the family's favorite, and everybody wanted to know how Phyllis was with her goofy hair, feathers, obviously. And yeah, she in the spring decided to separate herself, just like the one hen that goes in the duck house, but she went into the woods, and she refused to come back with the whole, I mean, she would periodically hang out with everybody, but most of the time she spent in the woods. So we tried to get her back to the coop, and she would have none of it, and then Phyllis was gone. So that really made us sad. She was such a big part of our hearts, and we really enjoyed that chicken, and I know a lot of people would ask about her, and I hope to get some more Polish chickens because they're really fun and they're cute, and we really enjoyed having Phyllis, so I hope to get some more. And then we've had another disturbing thing with our chickens this spring, is the rooster started it, I think. And I think, I don't know if you can see the little chicks in there. We do have some new chicks I'll tell you about in a minute, but the rooster started eating eggs and then basically teaching the hens, hey, look at this, you know, he will go peck them and make holes in them and then call the hens over and say, hey, look what I found, this is really good, and start eating the eggs. Our rooster we actually rescued. He was a meat chicken. He came with our meat birds and last year, and we discovered he's not a meat bird. So we kept him, and he's been a really good rooster up until now. And we just can't have egg eaters. So I'm sorry, Mr. Rooster, but he's gonna have to go to freezer camp, and we're gonna have to see, you know, what we're gonna do going forward about a rooster, if we're even gonna have one. They're nice because they protect your flock. They keep everyone together for the most part, other than Phyllis. I think he probably tried to keep her in line, and the other one that goes to the duck house, he probably tried and they wouldn't listen. But unfortunately, he's gonna have to go because we have not been getting eggs at all, and it doesn't make any sense to have egg-laying chickens and not get eggs. So we're gonna start with him, and we hope that the rest of them aren't so trained into eating the eggs that we're hoping they'll stop, or they won't do it or whatever. But we did have 2 hens that decided to go into the woods and sit on their eggs, and we think that's where the rest of the hens were laying eggs, on their pile, and the hens went broody. And we have 2 flocks of chicks in the coop right now. I'm gonna let them out, and you'll probably see, well, I'll make sure that you see the 2 flocks of chicks. I have some other video of them as well. So, here comes, that's Mr. Rooster. There's one of the little chicks. There goes Louise and her little fluffy white and gray chicks. They're kind of running all over the place here. Let's see where the other mama is. Where'd she go? Mama left and left all her babes. You left your babes, honey. Yeah, you gotta come and get them. They're confused. So here's our our second round. She went, this hen went into the woods as well and came out with these guys. I have a little video we can show right here as soon as we're done showing this. She's on the outside, they're on the inside. They got to figure this out. Go around, Mama. Go around, Mama. There they go. Was he trying to get you? Salt. There he goes. There's my duck. Hi, Mr. Duck. Hi, BB. I know. I know, sweetie. Hi, honey. Aw. We'll see how long he lasts. I'm hoping we can get him to go in the coop this winter with the chickens. I don't know what else to do with them. Well, we can see if he'll go in the duck house, but I don't know. We got that noisy rooster again. Not for long. So, I mean, we had a lot of losses in animals, and every farmer and homesteader knows if you have livestock, you have dead stock. So it's going to happen. Excuse my beagles, they're hunting in the woods here. But so we thought, well, you know, what's done is done. Let's just be excited about spring. Spring is coming. We're going to do a big garden this year. I'm going to start everything from seed. Really excited about spring, right? So I started, I bought this cute little greenhouse, indoor greenhouse. Started 4 trays of seeds and and none of them germinated, except a few plants germinated. So I discovered, I don't know, it wasn't good potting, and you need seed starting mix. If you're going to start from seeds, you really need a good quality seed starting mix. So I dumped all that out, went and bought some expensive seed starting mix, started all over with my seeds, and then got a lot of germination. I got a lot growing. I was really excited about that. So brought it over, filled up our raised beds outside. I planted all my peppers inside the greenhouse. We decided to switch to an organic nutrient base this time and give that a try. And well, first of all, we came out and a deer or something had eaten all of the plants in all of the raised beds. It was a complete loss. And then I discovered that the nutrients that we put in the hydroponics in the greenhouse, I mean, not only did it smell super bad, it was called iguana juice or something. It was a horrific smell. My plants hated it, and it turned the roots black. So I had to come back, dump all that out, and it was really expensive. So more, money just flying out the door here, but live and learn, right? I don't know why I changed, because the nutrients that I had used previously worked really well. So had to dump all that out, clean all the roots on all the plants. Some of them, we lost a lot of them. Start completely over in the greenhouse with our plants. And, we're way behind schedule. It's September now, and I'm just now getting a lot of the produce that I should have gotten, maybe a month ago. So that was quite a bummer. So Kevin, he had to come out and build, completely close in our raised bed area. Okay, so he built a high fence all the way around, and then a gate, and there is hardware cloth in front of this gate to keep the predators out of our raised bed area. A lot of this has died off. What you're seeing in the front here, these are my perennials, my milkweed. That's all died back, so it's not looking pretty anymore. But my trellis looks real pretty with the beans on it still over there in the background. But anyway, so we had to completely enclose this. Anyone who knows anything about fencing and gates and all of that, the hardware cloth, the cattle panels, everything that was involved in fencing all of this in, knows the huge expense and the work involved in that. So it wasn't something we really wanted to have to do this year with all the other losses that we've had. Financially took a toll, physically took a toll on Kevin, mentally took a toll on us. We just didn't want any more losses going forward with the garden as well. So this part of the garden, I think, is very secure. We now know not to mess with the nutrients in the hydroponics. That's going forward. We hopefully will be successful with that. I have one more loss to tell you about, and then I will go on with some good news. Okay, so behind me you see the chicken tractor here with chickens in it. These are our meat chickens. And unfortunately, this is our second batch of meat chickens. And I say unfortunately because our first batch of meat chickens that we got, 25 of them, a skunk dug under the chicken tractor, got inside and killed all of them. Didn't, maybe took one, ate one, but killed them all. We did end up catching the skunk. Kevin trapped it and killed it. But there was the expense, losing the expense of obviously paying for the chickens, feeding the chickens, all of the work involved in that, and then to lose them all. It was just very frustrating, very frustrating. So he ended up kind of building, you'll see along the sides of this, he built out some protection so that an animal can't get right up next to it and dig under. And so far, as you can see, these guys are safe and they're growing out very well. A few more weeks and they go to freezer camp. They're pretty excited about that. Well, maybe not so excited, but these will be the most expensive chickens we've ever had, but it's important to us to raise as much of our own meat here on the property as possible. So obviously we raise our own pork, our own chicken. We buy our beef right now from a neighbor. And we catch fish. That's one fun thing we did this. He followed me over here. One fun thing we did this winter is go ice fishing. That's the only fun thing we really did with some friends, and it was a blast. And we had a couple fish fries, and they took us out fishing this spring, and it was just phenomenal. We had such a great time. They took us out on Lake Superior. We caught some lake trout. I can show a couple pictures of that. So much fun. So we try to catch or grow as much as we can here on the property, and that includes chickens. But yeah, these are going to be some expensive chickens, but we will enjoy them very much. So we're doing good now, right now, on the chickens, and everything's going okay with our pigs, and our garden is, you know, late blooming, but it's doing better. But the one really exciting thing I wanted to show you is Kevin did get our front porch on. I'll spin you around. So we're super excited about that. I think my camera's uneven here. Super excited about that. Got a bucket of stain here. We still need to stain the ceiling. I need to restain the deck here, but we have so enjoyed this. It gives the house a very finished look. We sit out here every morning, have our coffee, and just enjoy our property and enjoy our homesteading life. So I do want to say, even with all the losses and things that we've had this year, sorry, my tripod is not going to sit evenly here. Hold on. Okay, I thought I'd show you real quick the greenhouse, what it's looking like right now. It's kind of crazy. A lot of stuff my flowers aren't doing the greatest anymore, but this is kind of what I'm walking into right now. I kind of overplanted my raised bed in the middle, but it is almost to the ceiling here. And look at these beautiful flowers I got from my friend Eliza at Verna Farms. But yeah, you can barely get through here right now. There's a lot of peppers. I'm hoping that I don't lose them. We've gotten down to 30, it was like 32.9 one night, but these ones right here are Carolina Reapers in this pot. I kept them separate. They're super hot. Lots of blossoms, and teeny tiny little peppers coming. This teeny tiny little pepper. But I haven't actually gotten any peppers off of that yet. And in the front here, there's like several Tabasco plants. I was excited about making some Tabasco sauce, but I don't know. A lot of flowers, still no peppers. Maybe a couple really small ones. Here's one. Really small. That's it. A few of those on here. So I don't know if we have enough time. But I'm not going to go through all these plants, but I just wanted to show you that it did bounce back. We have sold a lot of peppers at the farmer's market already, and I will be making more cowboy candy and selling that this winter. Can barely get through here, so I'm not gonna really go through the whole place, but I do want to show you some of the flowers on the other end though. Hold on. Oh, and here's another dahlia, beautiful red dahlia that I got from my friend Eliza. I love it when volunteer plants and flowers come up. You know, I didn't plant those, they just came up. More beautiful dahlias. I just love these. I need to get more next year, and I'd like to have just a whole garden of them. They're just stunning. The colors are just beautiful. In my outside raised bed garden, I have more beets to harvest. I did harvest quite a few and made pickled beets. I'm going to be pulling the rest of these out today. I absolutely love my trellis with the beans. So a lot of these are a pole bean. They'll be like a hard bean, but there's green beans on one side, and we've harvested a ton of those. So that was very successful. These onions I started from seed. I'm very happy and proud of them, but there's not really enough, but I'll take what I can get. We harvested a ton of peas. These are obviously done, but we harvested a ton of peas off of this, but we're coming up with a new system next year for those. But over here, I still have peppers and this last bed over here that I need to harvest. And I tried cabbage over here. I have the one bright green one right there. That's a Chinese cabbage. I'm not really familiar with that. There's another one over here. Looks like the bugs are eating them. That's unfortunate. My other cabbages just never took off. So cabbage is one thing I've not yet figured out how to grow in the right space. So still a work in progress. And this year, my milkweed, we didn't see any monarchs. No caterpillars, no eggs. I don't know, it's the first year in a long time where we didn't have any, so I'm sad about that. But I think I'm going to try moving my milkweed somewhere else, because I used to have just pretty flowers in this bed, and now it's all taken over by milkweed and stuff. So anyway, that's kind of a tour of what's going on outside. I have some mint growing over there. Or actually, I don't know if that is mint. Let me look. Oh yeah, it is. It's called Indian mint, and it's a really strong smelling mint, which they say helps to keep bugs away. So I might plant a lot of this by my front porch next year. I have basil growing over here. I've harvested a ton of that and freeze dried it. I had dill growing here. It's done, but I did harvest and freeze dry a lot of it. There's still some more dill there I can salvage, but along with some wildflowers. Parsley down here. And look at this beautiful white dahlia. Oh my gosh, they're just stunning. I love them. Definitely gonna do more of those. Kevin's back. Okay, so the good news is we persevered, we kept going. We had some losses, but we've had a lot of successes this past year too. So we're going to continue on at least for another year in doing what we do, and we'll try to bring you along when we can. But I hope that this is helpful for those of you who are thinking about getting into homesteading or farming. You're going to have some things that go wrong, but just keep moving ahead, keep trying, and learn from our mistakes. So until next time, thank you for watching.
Goodbye for now.